A short week for the New England Patriots as they did unfortunately lose on Sunday in overtime, 23-20 against the Seahawks, but quick turnaround, and now you play the Jets on Thursday night, the only primetime matchup for the New England Patriots, so I figured I'd hop on here Tuesday morning and break it down for you guys ahead of the matchup. In case you guys were wondering, though, the Jets being the AFC East showdown that it will be, the Jets, unfortunately, are also 1-1. Along with the Patriots. And it's going to be a good matchup because the Jets are kind of starting to find their footing as well, which can be a little bit tough here with Aaron Rodgers. You know, he came into the new system last year, then tore his Achilles on the third down, and we saw them in prime time already in week 1. And obviously resulted in a loss. But I do think the Patriots have momentum on their side despite them coming off a loss and the Jets coming off a win. But overall, it's going to be a really good showdown. Despite what Vegas has to say with the Jets being 6.5-point favorites. And I get it. You know, I genuinely believe up until maybe week 10, the Patriots are not going to be favorited in any matchup. I just think we have to take the underdog role. But hell, you beat the Bengals in week 1. You lost to the Seahawks, who were ranked the 13th offense by PFF this last week in overtime by a field goal. I think the Patriots are going to shock the nation once more, but this time under the bright light. So before we hop into that, let me tell you guys what you need to know. This is unfortunately ahead of the injury report that we have officially received from the Patriots, but they did sign Michael Jordan to the 53-man roster. Jordan has been playing, no, he did not play for the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan has been playing for the Patriots at left guard while Sidy Sow has been out the last 2 weeks. And then, of course, they did make a couple of moves to their practice squad. DJ James and Mark Perry signed to the practice squad. And then you got Rigby and A.J. Thomas released from the practice squad as well. The reason why they're making these moves is because there's a bit of players on the injury watch. Unfortunately, a lot starters. Ja'Whaun Bentley and Vederian Lowe both left last game with injuries, but both are hopeful to play on Thursday, but that is unfortunately unofficial at this time. Sidy Sow has missed the first 2 weeks with an ankle injury. Oshane Ximines also got injured in week 2's matchup. And then David Andrews listed as a hip, but I do believe Andrews is more just precautionary at this point. So knowing what you know now about the roster moves and the injury report, let's get into the keys to victory, shall we? Number 1, fix the damn blitz. My goodness, Geno Smith absolutely demolished the blitz from the Patriots last week. And to the point where he just completely exposed that I didn't even know it was an issue until Geno Smith did what he did. And when you look at what the New York Jets did last week, they only allowed 1 quarterback pressure on their precious Aaron Rodgers in the backfield. That is why you need to fix your blitz primarily going into Thursday's game. You have got to pressure this man because we know he is one of the last modern prototype quarterbacks when you put him alongside the Peyton Mannings and the Drew Breeses. He's the oldest quarterback in the league. He knows what he's doing. You need to blitz him to make it easier on the secondary going up against a really good receiver and somebody like Garrett Wilson. Because when you do look at what Geno Smith did to the Patriots, he absolutely exposed him when they were blitzing Seattle. Geno Smith went 10 for 12 and still threw 171 yards, 1 touchdown, and was only sacked once in a 5-yard scramble versus the Patriots blitz. 10 for 12? That's horrible. What are you blitzing at that point when you're allowing a man to complete 10 out of 12 passes? He was never surprised, and 1 incompletion was a drop. And the blitz was defined by 5+ defenders rushing at the snap. That needs to change with Aaron Rodgers. You know that his football IQ is one of the best in the NFL right now, and if he does hit his top receiver in Garrett Wilson, it could be a very long game. But let's also talk about the Patriots when it comes to their passing game right now, because that was also pretty non-existent in week 2. And I'm not saying this in a sense that I'm trying to knock them down. There's just some things that they can work on, because when you look at the receivers last week, now I'm not talking about tight ends or running backs that happen to catch the ball. I'm talking about your receivers. 3 receptions. 3 receptions for 19 yards. These were the only 2 receivers that were targeted and or caught a pass that were not tight ends or running backs in week 2. Thankfully, Jalen Polk, one of his receptions actually did result in a touchdown. But this isn't going to cut it, because guess what? Your defense is going to start to realize the pattern here and that you can't throw for shit. And what Jerod and Mayo had to say on the passing game is that ultimately you just have to get better. We have to be able to ping pong between the two, which he means the passing game and the run game. That's something we need to work on. We need to be a more balanced offense, and that'll be the goal this week. And it's kind of interesting because last week, Jerod Mayo was saying that the Patriots were going to be an automatic run-first team, and I still believe that. But now he's like, oof, they caught on to that pretty well. And now we need to start mixing in some more receiver work here. But the tight ends in the run game, they're still very solid. You had Hunter Henry with 8 receptions for 109 yards. Even Austin Hooper got in there with some receptions. Ramondre Stevenson with wheel routes. Same with Antonio Gibson. So that's solid. But here's what we really need to work on, is at least just getting more time to throw to your receivers as well. Because when you're looking at the New York Jets, they're 17th in passing yards allowed per game so far in the NFL. They have allowed 195.5 passing yards through 2 games. Jacoby Brissett hasn't thrown for over 150 yards in 1 game just yet. That needs to change, because the minute a very good defense in the NFL realizes that the Patriots can't throw, it's going to be a bloodbath on the ground, and you need to protect your run game. So my next question here for you guys is, do you think Jacoby Brissett will throw more or less than 150 yards in week 3? Will he finally break the pattern and get over 150 yards? Type N for more, type L for less in the comment section down below. And while you guys are thinking about that, I want to tell you guys about Game Time, the only app you guys need to get tickets to the upcoming Patriots games this season, or maybe the Boston Celtics games, or Boston Red Sox, Boston Bruins. You guys know the gist. But regardless, sporting event, concert, theater, comedy show, use Game Time, because right now they have a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Pretty much Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to make sure that you're getting the best deal possible, and you don't have to search through thousands of tickets to compare, well, maybe Section 129 is better than Section 130 because they're $2 off, and now you're just down a rabbit hole. Game Time takes care of it. Not to mention, they already give you the lowest price guaranteed. They already give you a last-minute ticket deal. So if you guys are tailgating outside Rutherford, or if you guys are tailgating outside Foxborough and Gillette Stadium and you realize, hey, maybe I want to go to the game, they'll still give you deals up to an hour after that game started. So if you guys really want to go download Game Time right now, I highly suggest it. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Well, Game Time's going to suck if you can't contain Breece Hall. I know he's on your fantasy team, so I know how good he can be in the run game. Breece Hall, in my opinion, has the opportunity to be a top 5 running back this year, especially with a lot of injuries. But here's what Breece Hall has done so far that's really made me wonder if he is going to be able to get past the New England Patriots defense, because their run defense has been pretty good. And when you look at what the Jets have done versus opponents, through 2 games, they have had 169 rushing yards. Very nice. But the Patriots have only allowed 116 rushing yards through 2 games, which is why I'm intrigued to see that if you can contain Breece Hall, who has yet to rush for over 100 yards so far this season, then you could possibly force Aaron Rodgers to throw, and then you can work on that blitz, and then you can have Christian Gonzalez lock up Garrett Wilson, their top receiver, like he's done the last couple of weeks. Do you see the dominoes falling? Do you see how this starts to play out? Because you cannot let Breece Hall have over 100 rushing yards. I think it would be very hard to have a very good quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, a top receiver in Garrett Wilson, and then have a top running back have over 100 rushing yards like Ramondre Stevenson has done before for the Patriots. It's going to be tough to keep them from putting points on the board. And that's the name of the game, right? Have more points than they do. So number 4 in my keys to victory is going to be figure out your left tackle. Let's switch back to the offensive line here, because the offensive tackle primarily The left tackle, it gives me heart palpitations. And when you're looking at the left tackle depth chart right now, Chaka Okorafor, he's gone. This man is considering if he even wants to play football anymore. That doesn't happen to anybody but the Patriots. That's what I feel like. Number 2, Vederian Lowe. As of right now, we don't know if he's going to play on Thursday because he did leave the game, did not return with a knee injury against the Seahawks. And then you've got Caden Wallace. And it's not an issue, but he is a rookie. So there is a little asterisk right there because you're not 100% sure what he's going to be able to do. And Jerod Mayo kind of agrees here and says something needs to be done. Jerod Mayo said, we'll have to see about left tackle. He's had some good snaps for us, talking about Caden Wallace, and that's what it's all about. It's next man up mentality. I know it sounds very cliche or very corny, but that's the world we live in. This is the roster that we have, and we're going to make do with it. I hate that. You have $43 million in cap space. Do something with that, Jerod Mayo. Don't just sit here and say, we're just going to take shit for left tackle and good luck, Jacoby Brissett. Do something about it because poor Jacoby is getting pressured like a mother. Through 2 games, Jacoby Brissett has the 2nd highest pressure rate in the NFL. He trails only behind Tennessee's Will Levis. Brissett is also 12th in EPA per dropback among quarterbacks who have played 2 games. Brissett got hit 3 times in week 2, and he got up very shakily. Shakily? Very bad. He just got up bad. He looked like he got hit. I don't know if that's a word. Twice. And he's already in his mid-30s. You don't slowly. So there's like several words I could have used. I don't know why I said shakily. Anyways, Jacoby Brissett got hit. You don't want him to keep getting hit. And with my 5th key to victory here is just ignore the bright lights. I know it sounds very, like Jerod Mayo said, cliche and corny, but this is a primetime matchup for the New England Patriots, and a lot of rookies are on this team. They're still kind of rebuilding, and they've done very well in week 1 and week 2. I just really don't want them to forget their X's and O's and just shit the bed when it comes to playing on primetime. Because you also have to realize the reason why the NFL has them playing so early in primetime is that this is their only primetime matchup. This is how little the NFL thought of the Patriots, that they did not give them any primetime matchups except for what's about to happen on Thursday. So just ignore the bright lights. Keep playing them like you did against the Bengals, like you did against the Seahawks. And I truly do have faith in this team to shock the nation once more and beat the New York Jets and then go on to be 2-1. But with that being said, what are your keys to victory to win in the Thursday night matchup? Go on ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. I just gave you guys 5, so now it's your turn. Drop them, and as always, hit that sub button for me.